And we are ready to tee it up here, so to speak. Face-off right in the middle will be between Matt Bogashevsky and Luther Wade. Right at midfield, East Lyme in the home whites. All white going right to left. And in the Waterford blue going left to right. Orpheus Mima in one goal, Mac Bentley in the other for the Vikings. And the face-off will be controlled by Luther Wade. We saw him in the first game, an excellent face-off man, a specialist. And the control from Waterford to start the game.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm excited for this game. I was down on the field beforehand, and both these teams are ready to square off.
Bars up ahead. He was looking for Cardozo. Cardozo checked from behind. Ball loose. And, Coach, I'll say one thing we saw in the first game, the difference between the girls and the boys, way more whistles in the girls game than we were used to seeing.
Oh, it's infectious. It's almost every play, it seems, in the girls' game.
There was almost nothing. I mean, I don't know how you play defense in the girls' game. I mean, it was these girls were running free. You can't do anything to stop them with the ball. So they're a little bit different. The physicality here in the boys' game will be different. And right off the bat, we see Lefort in the X for Waterford, looking for a cutter. In front, nice defense by the Vikings, and Bentley controls at the goalkeeper position.
A lot of players to keep an eye on in this game. Logan Bowdish, the leading scorer for the Lancers, and James McCoy, the big fastballer for the Vikings for East Lyme.
Bogashevsky on a run for the Vikings. A nice job of clearing the ball out of their defensive end. Ball didn't touch the ground. 5 passes. And now McCoy has the ball. He'll head into the X, and the Vikings will set up shop. The dangerous Sean Williams, number 3, setting up right in front of the Waterford goal.
Big sophomore, 98-mile-an-hour fastball is McCoy.
Yeah, don't I know it. Number 9, Matt Bauman with the ball for the Vikings. Bauman checked. Quick shot, and it goes wide and out of bounds, but Williams was closest, so the Vikings will retain.
Coach, a bit of a feeling out process early in this ball game, or these two teams want to go right at it?
Well, even right in that last possession, I'm surprised that McCoy's behind the cage, and they've already flipped McCoy and Williams, which is sort of out of the ordinary for them. So there's something coming at you.
Quick shot by Williams and a save by Mima. So quick, Sean Williams. Great job of defense from Bars, along with the rest of the Waterford defense keying on Sean Williams, who was so dangerous in that first game. Whistle, and it'll be East Lyme ball.
Waterford just must have got a wave there for a quick offsides.
Bauman for the Vikings. Hard check up top, and Bauman, Cardozo hounding him to Bogashevsky. Williams is now behind the net, creeping up into the crease.
So East Lyme now is in a short stick invert, drawing the Waterford short stick. Waterford just switched it back, and on the switch, that's how that shot gets off.
Williams with a quick goal, and the Vikings strike first. There you saw it. Coach called out the switch. East Lyme recognized it, got it into Williams' hand, and he beats Mima low left stick side for a 1-0 Vikings lead.
And Williams, one of those kids who positions himself perfectly in front of the net, has a point-blank shot, Coach, and he cashes in. First goal of the ball game, East Lyme.
Just taking advantage of the length of stick. Waterford tries to get the long pole back behind the cage, and in the switch, minus 3 feet of stick, Williams gets off a nice shot.
1-0 Vikings, 9:40 remaining in the first period. Again, in the boys' game, 4 periods rather than 2 halves, like we saw in the girls' game. Also in the boys' game, the clock runs a little differently. The penalties are a little different, and Coach Lefort will be here to clue us in on all of that. Remind us again as Bars takes off with the long stick for Waterford. Nice defense that time from Norwegian.
And again, the difference in physicality allowed between the girls' game and the boys' game, Casey, is night and day. It really is.
Affectionately hockey with no skates and no boards.
Yeah.
Cardozo and Bowdish playing a little two-man game up top. Now Cardozo's going to make a run. He goes wide right, looking to fire a shot in the middle, deflected, and a nice job by the Vikings. Coming out of it is Soames. Now up ahead, Cardozo with a steal. Belandis lost it off of his stick.
A good matchup here for Bowdish. He's got a short stick on him, and East Lyme has not yet made a switch.
Bowdish spins to the middle. Reverse quick shot and scores! And he beats Bentley!
That's
offside, lower right, and a 1-1 game.
Yeah, that time you saw it. You saw Belandis caught on a switch with a short stick, and a sniper fires in a goal.
You know, I don't think East Lyme intended for that matchup, but in that loose ball, when Baudish came out with it, it's just how it worked out for Waterford.
So we've seen both teams capitalize on mismatches on the stick size here in the early going in a 1-1 game with the two big scorers, Baudish and Williams, getting off on each team.
Both players, all ECC, 12 all ECC players on the field. Casey, we'll get to that a little later on the broadcast.
Loose ball, Wade won the faceoff, and he comes out with it. Ball's loose on the turf. Now, in this championship game, Coach, we do see the three officials. We talked earlier this year when they only had two in the previous game, so third official. What will we see different? What can that do for the complexion of the game, having the three officials?
I just think the game's going to be called tighter. You add another set of eyes. You get a perfect triangle around the game, and I think the front side, the back side, and out the weak side, you see it all now, and I think you can get a tighter called game.
Lefort behind the goal in the X4 gets a screen from Griffith Potter, another one of the big scorers for the Lancers. Now Baudish, and he'll swing it back on top, and the Lancers will reset. Straight run, Alessi.
So that's a switch there, so Baudish gets back to the short stick, so he's freed up again. There you go.
And he scores, and he beats Bentley. Now, I don't know if it's on purpose or not, but that's two shots in the same exact spot on Bentley, going lower left.
5-hole.
That's
between the legs.
Maybe that's the books, maybe some study, some film on Bentley. Maybe that's where they're going to go, because both shots in the exact same location.
Right, a little two-man game, almost like a pick and roll up at the top of the key, creates the mismatch with the sticks, and Logan Baudish 2 for 2 with goals.
Well, it started with a nice dodge by Alessi. He goes to the left, drawing Norwegian to come off of Baudish, and then on the rollback, you get the nice matchup back to Baudish. Very well executed by the freshman from Waterford.
Wade wins the faceoff for the Lancers. Cuts inside of Belandis, and now Norwegian on his hip, and he passes it off instead to Huda. Behind the net now, looking for some space is Griffith Potter, and a nice check that time from Catanzaro, and East Lyme will break out.
Now, interesting early stat, Waterford's faceoff man is right now 4 for 4. So if that's a trend, that's a big thing for the Lancers.
You had said in the first game that Wade's an exceptionally good faceoff guy, a wrestler, a tough kid, football player, and you see it, the physicality that he brings to the faceoffs. Vikings going to reset, down 2-1 here in the early going. And the scoreboard seems to have it the other way around. I hope they make that change.
I'll be on that.
As opposed to the first matchup in the season, this game is getting out a lot faster. Both teams are coming at each other with a lot more confidence than earlier in the year.
McCoy had it in front. He loses it. Breakout by Waterford. And that's the long stick of Joseph Lillis. And he puts it on the turf, and East Lyme with the steal. Coming out the other end is Bogashevsky. Bogashevsky free down the middle. Finds Williams. Quick shot and a score! Sean Williams is so quick, and the Vikings have tied it at 2.
Well, that's his spot. He went top shelf, right shoulder that time. Sean Williams, the attacker, with his second goal of the game. And, boy, Coach, he likes that spot where he sits out there on the left-hand side of the goalie, right arm of the goalie, and fires it right over the top of his shoulder.
Well, that last opportunity came out of transition where you had a 2-on-1. He made a nice little look cross crease, and then next thing you know, he's open and he can rip, and he goes top cheddar. Nice job.
Yeah. Top cheddar, Casey. Yeah. You like that one?
Yeah, I do. And Mima's, a rock-solid keeper, but that ball is on you so quick, really difficult to adjust. Can't give Williams an open look that close to the net. He's just far too skilled and too dangerous.
Crafty with that stick, boy.
We are tied at 2 here. 6:15 remaining in the opening period of the ECC Boys Championship Lacrosse game.
Well, I think, Coach, we answered my question. There's really no feeling out process here early in this ball game. It is, we're doing a straight get haymakers going and get them going quick.
Waterford gets it to Lefort behind the net in the X. 2-2. Waterford playing confidently. Moving it around.
So Waterford's gone with the same 3 middies for all 3 offensive runs so far. It's Baudish, Cardozo, and Alessi.
Baudish.
And East Lyme likes that matchup with the long stick on him.
Spins and a goal. Where did Logan Baudish release it from? 3-2 Waterford.
A hat trick early for Logan Bowdish, the junior sniper. 3-2 Lancers, just like that.
So that's the first goal, not 5-hole between the goalie's legs. That went off stick, hip.
And you know what? I'll tell you, Coach, Waterford learned in the first game that they can play with East Lyme. This is a much more confident Lancer team here in this championship game.
And early going in this game, you see a timeout by Gary White and his staff over there going things over and probably just talking about knowing where the players are on the field, Coach, knowing where the scorers are, and Logan Bowditch especially.
Yeah, I think that if there's an adjustment being made, it's going to be happening in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, we had talked after the first game. We had guessed, you know, what would your son's reaction be to that loss? We haven't had a chance to talk about what was his attitude coming off of that game. What was his takeaway from their first game with East Lyme?
Well, I think the boys, the Waterford kids, absolutely thought they could play with them. I think that, you know, they recognized the mistakes they had made early, and their coaching staff addressed a lot of stuff. And probably in the last, 3 weeks since, those are things that they've identified and worked on. And so here you are, you're sitting 3-2, and all of a sudden East Lyme's taking a timeout because they're on their heels a little bit, and rightfully so. It's a great timeout by the East Lyme coach.
Well, I'll tell you, I know we're only a few minutes in to the first period, but not only is the sort of body language of Waterford a little bit different. I think in the first game there was a little bit of trepidation as to, how do we stand with these guys? Where are we? This is a confident-looking group right now, but also from a strategic standpoint, their attack looks different than what it did in the first game. The shots they're getting are not the shots that we saw them have in the first matchup. So
Bowdish has had 3 shots within 10 yards with his stick inside of the field. These are all prime shots. Any lacrosse coach would want these shots.
Yeah, and again, Waterford took East Lyme's best shot, lost 10-7. Casey, they know how fast they are. They know how strong they are. Now they have to make the adjustment and try to match up.
Bauman for the Vikings. Shoved from behind by Wade. Bauman makes a run to the goal. And a nice back check that time by Lillis. And we're going to get a whistle. Waterford will have the ball.
East Lyme was called for being in the crease.
I was almost on top of that, Coach. I almost said crease violation there, but I didn't want to hear it from Casey if I was wrong.
And you would have heard it.
Yeah, I know it. I was going to say offsides, but I was going to say crease violation.
All EC selection, Luke Bars for Waterford. Gets it to Cardozo, their football teammates. Now it's going to go to Lefort, and he'll set up in his favorite position. They love to run their offense through him, the distributor, Michael Lefort.
Again, Coach, Bowdish up top.
So now you have Bowdish being face guarded by number 23, a short stick defender for East Lyme. So this is clearly the strategy Coach Wright employed at the timeout.
Yeah, Boguszewski is face guarding Bowdish. Lefort has the ball now, and they're going to try to run Bowdish back around. And Waterford's going to reset on top with Cardozo, also Jacobson.
Is Boguszewski assigned to him now? Is that an assigned man-to-man matchup?
They're basically willing right now to play 5-on-5, and basically it's boxing one.
Boxing one, yep.
So you see Boguszewski not losing Bowdish, staying with him behind the goal. Lefort makes a run, looking for a cutter, spins back right, great defense, finds Jacobson. Nothing there, good defense by the Vikings, and back on top it goes to Cardozo. Lefort goes back behind the net. Makes a run. Bowdish has been taken out of the offense thus far by Boguszewski.
Good patience here by the Lancers.
Out in front, swinging it around. Cardozo wanted to rip, chose to go right instead. Back to the middle. Things calming down a little bit. 3:40 remaining. 3-2 Waterford here in the first period. Now Cardozo heads around in the X looking for a cutter. Can't find anybody, and Waterford will reset.
So I think the strategy Coach Landry is probably going to employ at his next break is to start using Bowdish as the pick. So you're running at that short stick mashup, forcing East Lyme to choose whether they want to switch or not. So now you have people in different spaces right now for Waterford.
Good timeout by Gary White.
Very good. Very well employed. Waterford right now, I don't know if they're on their heels, but they're figuring it out on the run.
This is the game of the adjustments, like you said. Now they're trying to figure out how to make the adjustment when Bowdish is not able to get those shots. Lefort comes in front, had a man in the middle, but loose ball it goes, and we have a yellow flag thrown on the field as Lefort was drilled.
So first penalty of the game. You had to dodge in a different space for the Lancers, and East Lyme took the kid right off his feet, and now you've got a 6v5 for what should be probably a minute for Waterford.
So the specials are now in the game, and you are correct, Coach. The penalty was on Peich, and that's going to give a 1-minute advantage to Waterford.
So this will be a tough space for East Lyme to choose to face guard Bowdish here, because you probably wouldn't want to create a 5v4 matchup, but people do it. So it would be certainly something different that Waterford hasn't seen this year in man up.
There's Lefort, Baudish, Alessi, Jacobson. Now they swing it, and back on top it'll go. Griffith Potter, quick shot from Alessi, goes wide, but Lefort is there, and Waterford will retain possession.
Nice screen up top that time by Kyle Jacobson.
Oh, they put a cutter in. Jacobson's a hockey kid. They put a cutter in, and he drew a defender down and sort of squashed it down pretty good.
And a shot and a goal by Bray Griffith Potter. And Waterford takes advantage of the penalty 30 seconds in for a 4-2 lead.
Yeah, senior Bray Griffith Potter, Casey, caught that ball and one-timed it into the net. Great position. And again, Coach, you see now the mismatch with the penalty hurt East Lyme that time.
And Waterford's man up has been functioning on high octane for about 3 weeks now. So that's a very improved spot for them.
Power play efficiency, Casey O'Neill.
Yeah, and that was well done. You could see right there, Waterford, as soon as they got the penalty, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. Unlike when they were full strength, they were a little, not sure of how they wanted to run with the Bogashevsky face guard on Baudish. They were very comfortable once they got into the power play. East Lyme down 2 goals.
Griffith Potter got off a similar shot to where Williams was for his 2 goals. That sort of high left porch where the right-handed stick is on the inside.
Bogashevsky now kicks it back up to Bauman. Bauman swings to McCoy. We have not seen McCoy get a shot off yet. Behind the net, it goes to Schaffner. Schaffner looking for a cutter. Schaffner on top, Williams. Williams fakes, cuts right, and nice job by the Waterford defense, pushing him back on top. And Williams will head and run from the point. Williams cuts right, eludes Wade, gets inside, now goes back behind the net, looking for a cutter, and can't get there. A misguided pass that time as he was looking for Swenson. And a big hit, ball loose. Waterford wants to go.
Lancers are fired up down there. They're playing with a lot of confidence. See Chris Landry urging his team on the sidelines, Case.
There's Baudish with some space. And Baudish is crushed. Wow, what a hit, and they're not happy. Cardozo was not happy that Baudish got leveled. That is a big hit that Baudish just took.
Couple of flags, a little jawing down there too. So that's playoff lacrosse. Big hit.
Well, in the first game we called it, old school lacrosse, but now you have this third referee, and that kind of hit in the early game was not called. That was the hit Norwegian on Huda early.
Right.
So now you get one high.
This is the kind of shenanigans that's not going to go unseen with the third guy on the field.
And you probably don't want, as well as Waterford's playing in man up, you probably don't want to be here right now as East Lyme.
Down 2 goals. That penalty was on Bauman, and it's going to give the 1-minute penalty to Waterford. They scored the previous time. Back behind the net, they're going to send it into the X to Lefort, and they're going to run the power play. Baudish, Griffith Potter, Lefort. Back up top, Baudish rips a shot low and off the side of the net, and nice recovery by Bentley and East Lyme. Lefort almost came back and backdoored Bentley. Now Bentley's going to go out of the net, and a great job by Lefort hounding Bentley, forces an errant pass and another flag. With 36 seconds remaining, and we're going to get Lefort called.
Big Mac up there. Thought he was an attacker, Casey. You see him up there working magic with his net.
He was being hounded by Lefort. Lefort, I think they're saying, was it an illegal stick, that an inappropriate check, or what is that called?
It's a 1-minute slash. Straight up slash.
Okay.
The goalie's out of the cage. He's getting hounded, and 3 referees. The referee on ball thought it was too much.
You were right, Coach, about the additional referee creating a much tighter atmosphere here. So now we've got 28 seconds remaining on the East Lyme penalty and a full minute on Waterford. So even strength, and then 30 seconds with an East Lyme advantage.
You may see East Lyme hold the ball because you're going to not have to face off. They've lost so far every face off but one. If I'm them, they're holding the ball, which is exactly what they're doing. They'll go into the second quarter with possession, with the man up.
Down to 10 seconds remaining in the first period. Like you said, Coach, The East Lyme penalty is now up, and there's 30 seconds remaining on the Waterford penalty, and the Vikings will go into the second period with that man advantage. So there's the end of the first period. The Vikings trail Waterford 4-2, and when we start the second period, East Lyme will have a 24-second man advantage.
Yeah, and 12 players, Casey, we talked about on the field, that have all ECC players, and they have showed up big time. Logan Bowdish, 3 goals. Bray Griffith Potter, all ECC, a goal. Sean Williams, 2 goals for East Lyme. So you know what? Playmakers, coach, are making the plays in the first quarter, just on the Waterford side a little bit more.
Well, you know, the name you haven't mentioned right there is McCoy. Yep. And, you know, you have 3 quarters to go, and I'm thinking he's going to show up soon, too.
Casey, you think that, too?
I think that what they've been trying so far to do is they've gotten Williams open a couple times, and they try to do some stuff. But I think mostly it's because East Lyme hasn't had a lot of possession in their own end, and that's a testament to the Waterford defense. What McCoy we saw in Game 1 with that fastball is he likes to get out in some space and where he can rip away, and they just haven't had that opportunity. The substantial but svelte Mike DeMoro has joined us in the booth. I say substantial because
Mike is here, yeah.
But he is withering away to next to nothing.
Yeah, he's down 115 pounds, and Mike wants to say, Casey, Mike says you're in trouble. You're in trouble. You're in trouble. I got it. Yeah,
you have to be way more specific with that.
Mike, if you don't know, Casey plays baseball on Saturdays, and he's torn his hamstring.
Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Sunday morning. He's going to be on the DL. He'll show you a picture pretty soon.
So that means you have to be nice to me. Coach,
it looks like right now on the road, and this is a road game for Waterford. On the road, they have taken the fight to the Vikings a little bit here in the first quarter.
You know, it starts at the face-off. Winning 5 out of 6. You know, just like we were just talking, they've had a lot of possession, a lot of touches for their kids. Clearly, Waterford's offensive people are more in sync right now just at this stage, and it's because of how many touches they have.
Okay, so we saw East Lyme make the adjustment on the defensive end with Bowdish. Now, what do they do to try to amp up their offense? Get McCoy more involved?
I think it's either McCoy or Williams taking somebody behind the cage, maybe pinching their shooters up top so you open up your wing areas so that kid gets more of an ISO dodge. But clearly it's something we haven't seen a lot of yet.
Now they've got McCoy trying to get him some space. He's up top. They have the advantage for about 10 more seconds. There's McCoy, rips, and a nice save by Mima.
You saw the 90-mile-an-hour fastball there from big James McCoy.
And that's a save Mima did not make in the first game, in the first matchup. He just didn't have that kind of reaction to that kind of heat.
4-2 Waterford here in the second period. Looking to add are the Lancers. Huda with the ball, and he's looking for Bowdish. Bowdish being face guarded by Boguszewski. Now Cardozo will run the offense through him for Waterford. Cardozo heads straight up the middle on Bauman, gets checked, spins right, looking for a cutter. Cardozo back behind the net to Lefort, and Waterford will set up shop there. Lefort goes wide, as far away as possible, looking for a little space. High stepping in the X. Very patient, the Lancers with a 2-goal lead. Lefort being checked by Catanzaro, the long stick.
Catanzaro's pretty agile, kid with a lot of agility. This is a pretty good matchup.
Oh, a nice job that time. Lefort tried to find the cutting Huda, but an errant pass in, but it's picked up by Jacobson. Jacobson in front, across, Lefort, and a goal! Michael Lefort on the pass from Jacobson, and the Lancers have a 5-2 lead.
And AAC Waterford coach cashing in on a turnover and a little break by Lefort, cutting down the right-hand side, got the ball in perfect scoring position, cashed in.
I will say that started with a really sweet ground ball play by Jacobson. You know, the hockey kids tend to show up in lacrosse.
Peter Wappy's grinning on that one,
and he just goosed that ball. That ball was getting ready to roll out of bounds.
Sure.
He goosed the ball through his own legs behind. The East Line kid dove, and all of a sudden Jacobson quickly forced a 6v5. He beat another kid, and all of a sudden it's a 3v2.
I see some bad body language on the East Lyme sidelines right now, Casey. I don't think they expected this early in the ball game.
No, they haven't lost in the ECC this year. And I got to say, it's starting, though. Luther Wade is dominating the face-offs for Waterford.
And he just got called for his first violation. So he must have jumped, which is really at this stage something he doesn't need to do because he's winning.
Yeah, he has been an absolute nightmare for the Vikings. They have had no success on these faceoffs, but they'll take a run at it here, down 5-2 in the second period.
So Lyme makes their sub. Now you have full strength offense versus full strength defense. And now Waterford is employing the same face guard on Williams that Lyme is employing on Bodish.
Waterford has Kevin Close, their All-EC selection, their All-ECC defenseman, face guarding Williams, and he creates a steal. And a little overzealous. We're going to get a timeout, Waterford, right now. And look at the bot. Look at them jumping around down there. They are fired up.
Oh, man, they are ready to play today. Lancer Nation has showed up in full force. And, Coach, you talked about this. They dug their heels in, and they wanted a piece of the Vikings after they lost about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Well, you know, in the small town of Waterford, it's a baseball, area code. It's a baseball zip code. And you've got a lot of kids who have a lot of pride, and they want to be the best. So I live with it.
Yeah.
I live with it. I hear it every day. I hear it at breakfast. I hear it at lunch. And what's exciting about it is they know they have to work hard. And to catch up to Lyme, the gold standard around here for lacrosse, you're going to have to work very hard. And that's saying a lot about Lyme, because you got the town next to you saying, hey, we got to catch up to you.
Well, we expected a baseball final of Waterford Lyme. I think that's what everyone was expecting, and they didn't get it. The upset-minded Falcons, followed by the Stonington Bears, put a different ECC baseball final. So Waterford right now, they are the boys that are playing in the championship game of their conference. So at least for the moment, they can look at the baseball players and say, we're the ones playing for the championship tonight, and they have a 5-2 lead.
Yeah, I mean, and talk about the coaching too. Getting to the loose balls and the ground balls were a big part of Coach Landry's emphasis off that last game. Get to the loose balls, the hustle plays, the extra possessions.
Well, the guy who's showing up in the stats but also has a lot of grit is Luther Wade, number 7.
Yeah.
He's around every loose ball right now.
Cardozo gets it to Lefort. Waterford will be deliberate in their offensive possession with a 3-goal lead heading toward the half. Cardozo now heads to the middle of the field across to Alessi. Alessi now switches fields, rips a shot, bounces it, and it bounces over the net. Good hustle by Lefort will retain Waterford possession.
Lyme put a hard hit on Alessi, too, on the shot. That sent a message there.
Yeah, Lyme has definitely been the harder hitting of the two teams. Waterford, however, very deliberate and has the 5-2 lead. Back behind in the X now. Griffith Potter gives it to Lefort, back on top. Here's a run by Alessi, looking for him a screen from Baudish. Spins to his right, fires a shot, and a deflection by Bentley out of bounds, and Waterford still retains as they've got two men deep between Griffith Potter and Lefort, so they retain possession.
Well, Waterford's now using the pick of Bodish at about the 10-yard mark, and they're starting to get some shots that you would not really want to give up. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep pounding in that space.
Alessi spins right edge. Lefort now. He'll run. He gets a screen from Griffith Potter. Lefort, spin, has a look, fires a shot, save Bentley. Loose behind the net. Griffith Potter controls for Waterford. Out in front, and a Cardozo shot goes wide of Bentley.
A couple of good saves there by Mac Bentley, Casey. Turned away 3 shots in this possession.
This possession is long, too.
Gonna look, see if fatigue becomes a factor here for the Vikings. Waterford with a 5-2 lead, 8 minutes and change remaining here in the second period. Alessi gets a screen from Baudish, finds Cardozo. Cardozo wanted to rip, but instead pulls it back, and he'll reset, and Waterford back into its deliberate. Lefort screaming he wants the ball. He gets it, and they'll reset on the right side.
So now you have a short stick on Lefort in the back side of the cage, and you're going to get an ISO dodge here. And Lyme's not made the switch yet. This is going to be interesting.
Lefort goes left, spins. In the middle, he was looking for Griffith Potter. Instead, Alessi controls, and Waterford retains possession. This is a long possession. You are right, Coach. They have had the ball for almost 3 minutes.
And they're not really right now near a stall because they've gotten off about 4 quality shots at this stage.
Cardozo calling out the play. He's got Lefort, Jacobson, now Alessi. Griffith Potter is in the X. Waterford will reset with Alessi.
this type of possession wear on the East Lyme defense a little bit, Coach?
It gets you two ways. It gets you physically. You start to lose your legs a little bit, but it also gets you mentally because you don't feel like you're playing well.
Here's Lefort now. Spins to the middle. Throws it wide and over the top of Griffith Potter, but Waterford will retain possession.
That was a shot. Just sailed on him.
Back behind to Lefort. Alessi goes behind now. Switches with him. Lefort up top. Cardozo. Cardozo, quick shot, bounces in a save. Bentley. Big Mac that time. Saw the bounce shot coming, and a welcome change now for East Lyme as they get some players off the field.
Bentley came up big for him right there. That would have been something had that possession wound up a goal. That's a big momentum swing if they can hold here.
3 saves on that possession by Big Mac Bentley, all ECC performer.
First East Lyme possession in over 3 minutes as the Vikings looking to cut into a 5-2 Waterford lead. Bauman coming onto the field, gets a pass from Norwegian, and instead goes behind into the X to Schaffner. Schaffner, Bauman, swings it to Williams, and East Lyme will reset.
So Williams is backing up for an ISO dodge here. He's calling it by tapping his head.
He's got Hoagland on him, cuts it across. Inside, quick shot, and a deflection by Mima. Schaffner had a shot, but Mima, nice save, physical there, and a flag. That was McCoy mixing it up with Connor Douglas.
Oh, and he's a big one, too. Sophomore, 6'3", 235 pounds.
And, yeah, all of that.
He is, oh.
And we'll see what the
he got some beef on his sports doctor.
Flag was against East Lyme.
You know, sometimes when I'm out on the road recruiting, I sort of get down by the sideline and sort of size up the kids how big they are. He's all a 6 foot.
Oh, he's a big boy.
Yeah, he's big.
He would eat me like an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, McCoy gets the penalty. 1 minute now. Here are the Lancers on specials again with a 5-2 advantage and a man advantage. 1 minute penalty on McCoy. Griffith Potter swings it up top. Alessi rips, and a big save by Bentley, but it trickles into the net, and he pounds the turf in frustration. Bentley had the Alessi shot, deflects, and trickles helplessly into the net for a 6-2 Waterford lead.
And they see the penalty, the man advantage that time for Waterford, paying big dividends. Big Mac that stopped 4 shots in the last possession, and one, like you said, Casey, just kind of trickled by him right there. A huge 6-2 lead right now for the Lancers. Coach, right now, everything breaking Waterford's way. Loose balls, trickled in goals, big hits, mismatches, everything going towards the Lancers.
And East Lyme's been man down. And that's the difference probably in the third referee because they're all over this stuff right now. No one's getting away with anything very physical.
And then when they get to the face-off, they haven't had an opportunity because Wade has been immense from the face-off position. He wins another one. So Waterford has just had so many possessions compared to East Lyme. Ball loose on the turf. Who's going to come out of it? East Lyme comes out with it. Peich. And now he kicks it off to Bauman. And the Vikings, they desperately need a momentum-changing goal right now as they're down 4.
And Williams, their guy with the ball, he definitely needs a touch.
Williams cutting Bauman in front. And a great stop by Mima. And what a hit out there by Bogashevsky. And we've got, and there's a hit the other way on Bogashevsky. And these guys are beating each other senses, and this is getting a little bit physical. The officials are going to jump in as we've got a scrum, and Bogashevsky is down on the turf.
This is getting ugly right now. The officials have got to step in. They had one hit early, didn't address it, and then the retaliation hit by Waterford. Tempers are flaring. It's hot down there.
Luther Wade is down on the turf for Waterford. He was the first one that got crunched, and then Bogashevsky got crunched by East Lyme, and the two teams shoving and checking. Right now, these two teams, very physical.
You know, every game, the referees come over and ask me, Coach, is there anything I need to know? Or, just want the flow. And I say to every group of refs, call it tight early.
Yeah.
Just call it tight early because you can never reel it back. And right now, you're at that ebb and flow of how tight you're going to call it.
Well, Coach, on your first hit, on the initial hit, shouldn't one of the referees have stepped in before the retaliation with 3 guys on the field? Can't you see that?
I think as soon as Luther Wade went prone on the ground, I think the whole thing should have been stopped.
Whistle dead.
Is this high school lacrosse? Is the boy hurt or not? We got to know.
And then Boguszewski was helpless. Like, he was up in the air when he got checked. I mean, that was a very difficult one to see. And this is a huge injury. We see Luther Wade limping off. A huge injury, regardless, because he's a face-off specialist. He has dominated this game for Waterford in the face-off position. Now, fortunately, he looks okay limping off. But with a 6-2 lead and 4:50 remaining in the first half, marked down when Luther Wade comes out of the game. And when this scrum happened, let's see what happens from here. But we're going to get a penalty before anything else.
Yeah, I see Chris Landry begging and pleading with the officials over on the sideline, too, for a minute there, wanting, what's the call, get in there sooner.
Yeah, see, right now, Waterford is getting called on a penalty on what they're calling the retaliation. But what coach is saying is that he was protecting a down man. His man's down on the ground injured, and he came across to protect him, and then he got crunched. So Boguszewski and Wade were both the two recipients of the hits, and we'll see what the penalty amounts to.
While Wade was on the ground, Casey, too, you could see Coach Landry just staring down the officials the whole time, looking for some sort of, feedback or some sort of, just what happened out there and why aren't you guys controlling the game?
So they're going to call Wade on a penalty for Waterford and McCoy on a penalty for East Lyme. So two offsetting 1-minute penalties. The teams will remain at even strength, but with one man down apiece.
It
looked
like one of the penalties may have been locked in.
Which is what, Coach?
So the locked-in version of the penalty means even upon the goal being scored, the player does not get released from the penalty box. So it could become make it, take it for East Lyme.
Well, you've got two players in the box now for the Vikings. Number 2 and for Waterford.
So that's going to be.
So you have Mason Mobley, number 2. James McCoy, 17 for East Lyme. Number 7, Luther Wade. They're all in the box right now. So right now you have basically a 5v4.
So a one-man advantage right now for East Lyme. Down four goals. Waterford with possession and Bowdish with the ball.
So Bowdish is being doubled right now because East Lyme's at a one-man advantage. So East Lyme trying to get the ball dislodged from Bowdish's stick. Haven't done it yet.
And a timeout, Waterford.
Yep.
Because they saw that. They recognized it. Now they're going to set up how they want to approach it offensively with the double teaming. They had both Boguszewski and Norwegian double teaming on Bowdish.
What's the coach's message now down on the sidelines right now? What's Coach Landry's message? Your team is up by 4. You're on the road. The games are getting a little chippy. You got a couple guys in the box. What are you talking about here if you're Coach Landry?
Composure.
Okay.
Composure. You've won 16 games with composure. You've won a couple of one-goal games, and you got to let your brain do a lot of the work right now.
Yeah, you got to think too, Casey. Both of these teams knew that this kind of heat was going to come sooner or later in this ball game, and it came with about 5 minutes left to go in the first half.
Yeah, and I can't echo Coach's sentiment enough about composure. I've been, as I'm sure many of us have, I've been on the court. Basketball is a good example where you got to lead, the game gets chippy, and maybe you're the team that's got the chip on your shoulder to start with, with the underdog, if you will.
Right.
And now you look at you're up some goals, or in this case, or on the basketball court, you're up a couple of buckets. The other team starts fouling hard, and if you don't keep your composure, you can go on a 10-0 run and steal their heart. But if you don't keep your composure, you basically give it back, and you find yourself, right back in the game. So Waterford right now has an opportunity, if they keep their composure, to maintain this lead.
Right. So all the work and all the discipline, Coach, they've had to build that lead. Casey's right. You don't want to let that slip away with 4:32 left to go in the first half.
You can't afford another penalty right now if you're the team in blue. If you're the team in white, you're probably coming out here full hatchet because you got to get this ball on the ground right now. You have 44 seconds of a man up. So it's going to be interesting 44 seconds.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Waterford, they've been taking some hits. The temptation would be to hit back.
Sure.
Right now, though, Coach is right. They're down a man that they need to be disciplined in order to kill this penalty.
Yeah, and Casey, East Lyme trying to find a way to probably get Williams back in the mix. He scored 2 goals early and has been shut out since.
Now you see the double team on Lefort, and he loses the ball, and East Lyme comes out with it off the double team, and we're going to get a whistle. And they're going to say, still Waterford ball.
They called the loose ball push. And now that double team that was set before just got basically unset by the quick whistle of the restart.
Alessi, double team, loses the ball, but he sees it. East Lyme doesn't. Still on the floor, and a huge hit and another penalty.
There you go.
A huge hit by Peich on Alessi, and that's going to be an East Lyme penalty that'll even things up for a bit.
Well, there you go. There's losing your composure, as Coach Ray Lefort just said.
So now Waterford is going to employ the strategy. They're going to hold the ball for 18 seconds, and they're going to get basically 42 seconds of a man up here.
Yeah, so Mobley and Wade will come back on for Waterford in 18 seconds. McCoy will come back on for East Lyme in 18 seconds, but Peich is out for the full minute. So, right, 42-second advantage for Waterford once they hold on to the ball. And the strategy of the two coaches right now becomes paramount. They're both trying to find ways. Waterford right now has found the better success of it. East Lyme has got to try to figure out how to get Williams, and more to the point, McCoy, back into this offense. And the penalties are over. 3:45 remaining, and now it's an advantage. The only man out of the game is East Lyme's Peich. Inside, quick shot, and a score by Cardozo on a great feed from Griffith Potter. And the Lancers capitalize on another penalty and take a 5-goal lead.
Well, there you see the lack of composure for East Lyme. Left them a man down. Kyle Cardozo stepped in, a little one-time shot, Coach. Great shot, great patience that time by the Lancers, and surprise, surprise, a 7-2 lead with 3:37 left to go in the first half.
So the penalty went expired. Waterford subbed their kids on. They get on their sixth player, and the kid just walked behind the East Lyme defense. They just, before they saw it, the kid had his stick free and puts a shot in.
Wade back on the field, taking the face-off for Waterford. Now, we saw Waterford in the first matchup between these two teams score 7 goals in the whole game. They've got 7 goals with 3:37 remaining in the first half.
And you got to think East Lyme's a little shell shot right now.
Up in front, open man in front, and a score! Connor Schaffner just like that on a great pass from Boguszewski, and the Vikings answer.
So second face-off violation for Luther Wade. The quick whistle unsettled, and all of a sudden Boguszewski just runs right past him, and you have a 6v5, and it happens quick.
And a nice job, Schaffner, beating Mima 7-3. The Lancers maintain the lead, but we'll see if that injured ankle is affecting Wade's ability there. You're right, Coach. That's the second time we've seen a penalty on Wade here after dominating the first 6 faceoffs. Wade and Boguszewski. Wade wins this one, but it squirts to East Lyme, and out of the pack comes Norwegian. He gets a whistle.
So Coach Wright takes his last time out of the half right there. Good call.
3:21 remaining. East Lyme off a goal. You want to maintain the idea of strategy here. You want to get your team to know what they want to do for the last 3:21, and you want to go into halftime with that 4-goal lead.
Yeah, I mean, if for Waterford, it's exactly what you want. And if you're East Lyme, you got to try and chip away at the lead a little bit. It's funny because both coaches have different styles and contrasts. Chris Landry's fired up, running down the sidelines, and Coach White Casey, he's calm, cool, collective. He's under control.
Well, in baseball we talk all the time. You can't hit a 7-run homer. You know, if you get down early in a game, you got to chip away. You got to get good at bats, good runners on base. Here in lacrosse, same thing. There is no 4-goal goal. You've got to get good shots and be patient and disciplined and chip away at a 4-goal lead.
Is that why the timeout, Ray? You're coming down, set something up here, and try and make something happen?
Well, Andrew Norwegian comes up with a tough ground ball here. He's getting ready to get wedged out of bounds. You surely don't want to give up the next possession and maybe be down again 5.
Gotcha.
So you take it, and the East Lyme coach, Coach Wright, he's right now the most composed guy on his sideline.
Yeah, he is.
He's leading his team, and he's talking to his kids and getting them through a tough fight.
7-3. Waterford with, if not shocking, a surprising first half, as they have sort of jumped on every East Lyme mistake. And I do think, Coach, you nailed it. The 3 official tight measure. A lot of these hits we saw in Game 1 were not called. It has given Waterford multiple penalties. Williams, so quick. Double teamed. Now he's got just Hoagland on him behind the net. Williams spins. Williams keeps Hoagland on his left shoulder. Continues left, looking for an opening. Now he fakes right, spins back, rips a shot, and a save by Mima.
Nice defense that time by the Lancers, not giving Williams any kind of room to let one rip there, Casey.
Mobley picks up the loose ball for Waterford. Waterford on the attack. Mobley tried to find Huda. Huda loses it out of bounds, and East Lyme will have possession.
You know, the matchup you're getting from the East Lyme offensive standpoint is Williams versus Hoagland. Hoagland being a natural lefty, his stick is in direct opposition to Williams' natural right-handedness, so it's pretty interesting matchup to watch Williams counter and recounter his dodges versus the lefty.
Like fighting a southpaw, Casey O'Neill.
Long stick, Norwegian with the ball. He loses it, scooped up by Schaffner. Schaffner now gets into the middle to Bauman. Bauman's got Boguszewski on his right, pulls it back out. 2:11 remaining here in the first half. 7-3 Waterford. Williams now with the ball. He'll have Hoagland on him. Hoagland stick poking. Jabbing at Williams. Williams one hand. Spins. Fires a shot. Hits the post. He had the opening. He had Mima beat, but he hits the post.
It was a really nice roll for him. He got his stick top side and got a great angle on Mima.
And even the breaks are going the Lancers' way right now. 7-3 Waterford, under 2 minutes.
You know, every goalie will tell you a hit post is a save.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I only played goal for 30 seconds, and I agree. It's a save, whatever it takes. Williams with the ball, spins, looking for a shot, jumps, fires, and scores! Sean Williams with an athletic goal beats Mima and cuts the Lancer lead to 3.
Number 3 for number 3, the hat trick for Sean Williams. He likes that spot, had a little bit of room that time, and let one rip, and a well-needed goal for the Vikings here. Coach, as they cut the lead to 7-4 with about 1:22 left to go before the half.
Williams is a high IQ player. He recognized quickly he got tied up with a short stick behind the Waterford midi, and he got top side of the kid, which he didn't get that done last time versus Hoagland. And now there's a great matchup, and the kid went to the goal. It's a really nice play.
There's no thinking there. He senses he's got the mismatch. He catches the ball. He lets it rip.
He's played a lot of lacrosse. You know, it's instinctive, and he just went to the cage, and it's a really nice play.
Vikings steal possession. Norwegian up ahead it goes to Abramoff. Abramoff into the middle to Boguszewski. Ball loose. Nice save. McCoy in front. Williams goal! Right at the 1 minute mark, the lead is cut to 7-5. 2-goal lead for Waterford. Great passing. McCoy to Williams.
And just like that, just what the doctor ordered for the Vikings, Casey. 2 quick goals. This game was 7-3, 7-5 right now. And Waterford, the team on their heels up most of the first half, Coach, on their heels a little bit heading into the locker room.
Yeah, I think the big hit on Wade got him a little rattled. I think the timeout by Coach Wright off of the Norwegian ground ball was a great call, and they've got momentum coming out of that timeout.
Wade had the face-off, but it's backed out and controlled by Boguszewski. And under a minute left, down 2. East Lyme wants to make one more run at it, but they lose it out of bounds. And I would not be surprised to see Waterford try to get this thing to the half.
Well, off the inbounds, Bodish picks up the ball, and now he's got a good matchup. East Lyme's going to try to switch it back, but Bodish has a good go right here.
Bodish up front. East Lyme shifts into a little bit of a double team and a kind of a zone double team on him. Up top now, Cardozo with the ball.
East Lyme is in a zone. They are in a 3-3 zone with their long poles on the inside and their high wings guarded by the short stick.
22 seconds remaining. Lefort up top. Now to Jacobson. Jacobson. Cardozo in front. Griffith Potter. Back up top to Cardozo. 15 seconds. Swings around. Quick shot and a save by Bentley. Bowdish got one off, but Bentley with the save. Long outlet is loose on the turf. McCoy rips at the buzzer and sails it high. And we are at halftime of an exciting ECC championship battle. The Waterford Lancers 7, the East Lyme Vikings 5. We are ready soon. Come on back in 10 minutes. Halftime show, Sports Doctor. Make yourself a house call. I need a breath.
Yeah, we got a full house here in the locker room in the booth here. We'll bring in a guy with a very special night last night over at the Coast Guard Academy. He is New London athletic director Chris. I don't want to get your last name wrong. Vemikides.
That's right. That was good.
Chris Vemikides.
That's right.
Listen, what a special year this year at New London.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. The support that the girls got from the community to make that championship run was amazing. And we saw it again last night. We had our banquet there, well attended, over 100 people. I mean, we had our principal there, past and former and current superintendent there. We had the mayor there. We had countless amounts of parents and just people that came from all over to come support and come show their love for the team.
You know, when you're talking about a special run and a special time of year, and you talk about two special kids, you're going to move on to play, you know, Division I college basketball, and Jada Lucas and India Pagan. You know, talk about what is meant to not only the school of New London, but the community as well, to have these two kids go on and, you know, do great things both academically and athletically.
Yeah, I mean, they're tremendous student athletes, both of them. University of Hartford and Stony Brook are going to get two incredible young ladies. They're going to go on to represent New London as a city in tremendous fashion. They're great in the classroom. They're great on the court and off the court, and we couldn't be happier that they're going on to represent New London.
Now, how does it, you know, how did it feel? I had a chance to talk to Coach Misto last night. I saw her out after the banquet, and, you know, she said that she was under the weather during the championship game and at Mohegan Sun. You know, how do you feel as, you know, as an AD and that whole experience of being at Mohegan Sun, you know, for the kids, for the school, for the thousands of people who were there? And, you know, there's back-to-back double L games on Saturday afternoon, you know, when New London played, and then Hill House played, I believe it was East Catholic.
Yep.
East Hartford, I'm sorry, East Hartford. And, you know, they had over 8,000 people in that arena. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that's tremendous. I mean, I'm from New London, so I remember what it was like growing up and going to girls' basketball games when I was in high school, and even when I first came back as a teacher. I mean, you would find some games where you may barely have 8 people in the crowd.
Right.
And to think that 8,000 came out for a girls' basketball game, tremendous. And when you looked up into the crowd, I mean, you saw the sea of green and gold.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah,
to see.
that's so much good success going on over there. So now you're gearing down the school year this year.
Yep.
You know, probably some well-needed time off, take a breath of fresh air. I always tease the teachers and stuff like that, and, you know, they have a cushy job and stuff. But seriously, you guys gear down a little bit, you know, and then it's right back into the mix, you know, with football season. And when you go way back to last August and September, you know, the job that Juan Roman did, you know, kind of jump-starting that football program again, that's got to make you guys feel pretty darn good moving in, at least for next year and in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a change was made, and, you know, Juan came in and did a tremendous job with the team, not just record-wise. You could see it off the field as well. You could see it in the classroom, in the hallways. There was a certain set of expectations that came along with Juan, and, you know, I think it's pretty safe to say the kids met it last year. I mean, ultimately, the goal in New London is to win a state championship.
Everybody always says that.
Know,
I can't,
really
you know,
is,
I got
it really
Casey,
is,
Coach,
yeah.
I got Casey over there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a big deal. But everybody from New London always says, Chop, you know, Chop's never happy with an ECC victory.
Yeah.
He's always going to be a state championship guy. But, I mean, you guys, you've got to feel good about yourself as an AD, as an athletic department with some of the people you have in place moving forward, you know, new baseball coach, you know, so things are on the up and up for New London athletics.
Yeah, I believe so. I think we've made some great hires. I think we brought in some great people, and you surround yourself with great people, great things are going to happen. That's kind of the motto that we go by, and it's good when we see some familiar faces, some former Whalers coming back to give back to their community.
Right.
And we saw that with Juan and also with John McCullough and myself and Tommy. So we have a lot of New London guys, you know, within our school system, within our city, doing great things, and it's, you know, it helps being a Whaler.
Sure. Now, you guys had the banquet last night. Was that Coast Guard?
It was, yeah. It was a beautiful setting. You could see the water right from the room where we were, and Andrea Marcel did an excellent job providing the venue for us, and it was just an amazing setting.
Is she a New Londoner?
She is, yeah. The Marcel family is her brother and my brother are best friends since they were little kids. So, you know, everybody knows everybody in New London.
Now, Coach, you're connected too with New London sports. I mean, your wife Michelle.
Yeah, she covers a lot of their sports as an athletic trainer. She does a lot of work for them. You know, and every time she comes home from a game, she's really amped up about what they do there. And the word she always uses to describe, you know, the things around it is passion. You know, so, you know, the coaches that are working with the kids and the kids, it's excitement and there's New London passion coming out of it. And she's really grateful to have the chance to work with those folks.
Yeah, Chris, too, I did a spot with Joe Zone on Friday Night Frenzy there on Channel 3. I gave you guys a lot of love.
Yeah.
Spoke very highly of you guys and said that, you know, New London girls basketball team was the most consistent team on the boys and girls side that I saw in the state all year. And I still believe that. I thought consistently from start to finish, a hiccup at career, and lost, I think, NFA.
Yeah.
I lost at NFA. He kind of rewrited the ship a little bit. But I talked to Coach Misto last night. I said, was that a terrible loss, that career? And she said, no.
Yeah.
It was actually one of the better things that happened to our team because it kind of woke us up a little bit.
And she actually brought that up at the banquet last night, too. I think, an undefeated season looks nice at the end of the day, but, ultimately the goal is to win the championship. So if we needed to lose that career, if we needed to lose that NFA, then so be it, because you learn a lot of lessons from your losses. And, when the NFA loss happened, it kind of galvanized and united the girls and brought them together, and they just went on an incredible run.
Well, on behalf of the London Day and Game Day and Wired Zone and all the projects we do, we thank you for your hospitality, because whenever we go into New London, whether it's basketball, whether it's, the football, whatever the sporting event, you guys treat us very good. So I want to say thank you for everybody, from Mike and Peter and Casey and the camera guys. I mean, we really appreciate it. We love covering the kids.
Absolutely, and thank you for all your support, and you guys are more than welcome to come anytime.
All right, we'll see you in the fall, Coach.
Thank you.
Chris,
Thank you.
all right, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. We'll see Coach Ray Lefort in the fall. I mean, he's how much time do you take off, Coach?
About 3 weeks.
You take about 3 weeks off.
Well, you got a window, you got a space of time between Coast Guard Academy graduation and when the new class comes in. The swabs, they're going to get sworn in sometime around the 26th, 27th of June, and then you're on, because all those kids, you're going to see them every day. Our coaches at the academy basically work the physical fitness portion of the Coast Guard Academy swab summer, be it the O course, be it the physical fitness exam, be it remedial physical fitness, be it swimming training, those kind of components, so all that stuff. So we're there all day long with the swabs. We're not going through it like they are. I'm not saying we are.
Right.
I'm 48 years old.
That's
I don't
right.
need to do
No,
that now.
I understand.
But, in some way, shape, and form, you're sort of, showing the kids, we need you to get through this.
Yeah,
we need the new leaders of character in the Coast Guard.
Yeah, Brian's one of our interns here. He's a Fitch grad, and he goes to Sacred Heart right now. Brian, have you ever been to a Coast Guard Academy football game?
I have a few times.
It's tremendous, is it not?
It is. It's very nice. Very cool.
I mean, the setting there with with the water and the field, and
Beautiful.
it is fun football. I had a chance to help out with with some of the broadcasts last year, and I'm telling you, those kids play, man. It's fun. Coach, they run a fun style of offense. I mean, you probably see 4, 5, 6 running plays the whole game.
We'd like for there to be more. That'd be great. Coach George and I take an enormous amount of pride in protecting the quarterback.
Sure, yeah.
It's a big part of throwing the ball. And you don't see Tom Brady on his back much.
No.
Therefore, they throw the ball well. So I think last year we were sacked 8, 10 times out of 480 attempts. It's not many.
Yeah.
So that's something we always have to do.
Right, a couple of your football guys are running track right now. Isn't Adams running track right now and tearing it up?
He's at Nationals. He's
yes.
at Nationals in the long jump, just set the Coast Guard Academy long jump record.
Is he one of those kids?
No, I'm gonna give you this short story on Adams, okay? I had him. I also, as a coach at the academy, I also teach tennis.
Yeah, okay.
As one of my little side things, we teach the lifetime sports. So Adams is smashing the ball in my class, and I had taught the kids about 2 classes before the topspin forehand. So no one in the class can hit with Adams. So I said to Darius, I said, hey, let's stick around after class. I said, you don't have a class at 10 o'clock? Let's volley a little bit.
Sure.
And he is sending smokers back and forth to me. So I said, he's wearing me down.
Right.
Right? And I walked over, I said, Darius, I go, can you tell me? I go, so did you play a lot of tennis in the Bahamas? And he said, no, coach. He goes, you just taught this forehand 2 classes ago.
He's
that talented of an athlete.
He's a natural
it's
athlete.
Eye-hand coordination, being able to jump, being able to do things righty-lefty. You just don't come across many like that in your coaching career.
Yeah, it's tremendous down there. You guys doing a great job with the team. We'll bring Casey back in a minute. Brian, I haven't got your MO yet. Are you a Patriots fan?
No, I'm a Giants fan.
Wow, we got another guy here.
All
Man,
New York sports.
Seriously, Yankees?
Yankees, no, Nets, Brooklyn Nets. So
what?
Yeah.
I mean, they used to be a New Jersey team, so I guess we'll give a little bit of a break.
That's
right
where
there.
I liked them.
I got that from your father.
No, honestly, both of my parents really aren't sports kids. But both of them grew up in Brooklyn, so they've all always been New York. And then when I was just born, all my aunts and uncles just pushed New York sports onto me.
You're gonna be on my next.
God bless them.
We're gonna be on you're gonna be on my next podcast, and I'm gonna find out why New York for intern Brian.
I love that.
We'll talk to you after the game, Brian. We'll bring Casey O'Neill back in here as we're getting ready to start the second half. Nice job, Brian. Casey coaches tennis here as well.
What's that now?
Coach coaches tennis as well.
Really?
Coach Lefort, yeah, he's a.
Is there anything you don't coach?
No, he does it all.
We just get it done. Wake up, get a cup of coffee, and go.
Absolutely. So whatever you're just gonna walk. Have you ever shown up at one field realizing I'm in the wrong place? I got to coach someplace else today. I didn't show up at the tennis court and realize, oh wait a minute, we have a lacrosse game today.
7-5 so
That would
far.
show my age, Casey.
Logan Bowdish with 3 goals. Kyle Cardozo with a goal. Michael Lefort with a goal. And Bray Griffith Potter with 1 for East Lyme. 4 goals by Sean Williams and 1 by Connor Schaffner. You're scoring in the first half.
7-5 Waterford to start the second half. And we are underway. East Lyme. And the ball is loose, and it's going to be scooped up by the Vikings. And they have an opportunity here if they can hold on to this ball, which is now back on the turf again. And it comes out of the pack with Schaffner. And the Vikings will have the first crack at offense, down 2 here in the second half. The Vikings now going right to left in the all-white. Lancers left to right in the Lancer blue. McCoy behind the net now for East Lyme. That's not something we saw in the first half.
We only saw it on the first dodge of the day, but now we see it again.
And he scores! There it is, McCoy off a screen from Williams, wraps around, beats Mima, and the Vikings have cut it to 1.
James McCoy gets himself into the scoring column, Casey. Wow, a precedent.
That's a new wrinkle. That was not in the first half. The lacrosse folks would call that a little big pick. So East Lyme dragged the short stick defender down at goal line extended. McCoy ran hard at him, and Waterford didn't want to switch the short stick to McCoy, so then he gets the step top side. His stick is free, and Mima's basically at his mercy.
And as we know from experience and from our time with him, McCoy, when given an open shot, has the velocity to beat the goaltender. And here we go on a run. East Lyme right away. A huge shot from Abramoff and a save from Mima. The Vikings are on the attack here, and I bet you the message at halftime from East Lyme coach was pressure, 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 pressure.
Yeah, and you saw Abramoff slam his stick down in disgust because he had a point-blank look at that goal, Casey. Just missed it. And again, like you said, East Lyme putting a little heat on the Lancers.
Well, they have turned the tide at the face-off, and they have won about 5 in a row since Luther Wade's been on the turf, and that's just changed the complexion of what you're seeing.
Nice job by Hoagland. Poke checked away and got the ball out of Williams' stick, but Williams recovers. And East Lyme back on the offensive. In front, McCoy. McCoy fakes a shot and turns, spins. Nice checking out that time by Bars. And Bars sprinting in the open field. No stranger doing that in this field. The long stick, back it goes to Huda. And Waterford with a much-needed offensive set, clinging to a 1-goal lead.
Three straight goals by the Vikings, Casey. You have them down only 7-6 right now.
A very nice check by Bars on McCoy. McCoy was getting ready to ISO him and put a little move on Bars, and Bars just got the back butt end of his stick. It's a really nice play by Bars.
Alessi with the ball up top on the point. Got a long stick in Norwegian on him, and now he gets it to Baudish. Baudish rips, fires wide. It'll stay Waterford ball, and a nice hustle play from Cardozo.
Logan Bowdish been pretty quiet since he scored those 3 quick goals for the Lancers.
And since the short stick and since the lock-off. So he's being locked off again by Boguszewski, and Boguszewski's doing a great job running with him.
And that box-in 1 you referred to by East Lyme.
So Waterford here is using Baudish as the pick. Pezzolesi's going to run right at him, and they're going to try to get the rub.
Alessi finds Lefort. Lefort in front of Griffith Potter. Quick shot wide. But another hustle play by Cardozo keeps the Waterford possession.
Nice dodge and dump by Alessi. And the Waterford kids were showing some quick sticks there, and Bray Griffith Potter got off a really, really quick shot in close quarters.
Cardozo with the ball for Waterford, makes a run. Now he drifts back to the X, looking for a cutter. Guarded by Bauman, and he goes back up top to Alessi. Alessi cuts left, spins back. Baudish is going to set the screen. So they're going to reset. Baudish will come up with Boguszewski on him. Straight at Norwegian comes Alessi. Now he turns, fires. Ball was deflected by Norwegian. No one knew. Loose on the turf. And fighting for the ball now are both teams, and it's going to go out of bounds, and it'll stay Waterford ball. East Lyme unhappy with that call.
Extra hustle there by the Lancers that time down the baseline, as you would call it.
They had 3 kids on that ground ball. No one came up with it, but one of them got nudged out the end line, and they got to keep the ball.
Lefort hounded by Catanzaro.
Long stick on him.
Getting hounded. Lefort comes in front. Up top, Pezzolesi. Pezzolesi rips, and a deflection sails high. And this time the Vikings will finally get the ball back as Bogashevsky will inbound.
And for the first time in a long time, a little life down there on the sidelines for the Viking players, jumping up and down. They're into the game now.
Bogashevsky and Bauman go back and forth. Now Bogashevsky crosses midfield with it. The Vikings on offense looking to tie this ball game up.
Yeah, I would say both teams are very into it right now. There's a lot of emotion. A lot of kids giving really high-end effort.
Now here we go, Coach. They put McCoy back in the X.
So McCoy has ISO'd on bars here, and they're totally one-on-one. So let's see what happens off this dodge.
McCoy spins, looks right. He's trying to find Williams. Finds him. Williams hesitates. Nice job that time with Hoagland on Williams.
Williams was ready to let one rip there, Casey. Just couldn't find a lane.
Bogashevsky cuts inside, around the goal, in front, quick shot, and a score! The Vikings have tied the game. Goal on the play by Larry Nolan. First goal of the game for Nolan, whose name we have not called, just on the field, and he ties the game at 7.
Again, the patience of the ISO with McCoy behind the net, kind of freeing some people up, Coach, moving things around a little bit. They found a person in Nolan in front, and a point-blank shot that time has this game tied up by the Vikings.
And the teammates are absolutely mobbing Nolan on the sideline, clearly new to the game, and they appreciate gave us a brand-new ball game.
Well, he goes really hard down the right alley, comes out the backside and finds a crease cutter. It's a really nice feed. That's really high-end lacrosse you just saw. That's a really beautiful play.
Waterford, Wade gets the face-off win this time, gets it into Cardozo's hands. Bowdish out with him. Bowdish now being guarded by Abramoff. That's a new look. And Abramoff is going to check Bowdish.
McCoy, one of those players who can do it all for East Lyme, not just score.
So now Bowdish is behind the cage as the backup.
Waterford going to reset. They're going to send Bowdish up top. Lefort now makes a run for the goal. Looking for a cutter. Spins. Still looking. Nice check. And out of the pack comes Catanzaro. The long stick making a run with a lot of open field. Catanzaro into the middle. Passes, and McCoy took his eyes off it, but regains possession.
McCoy makes a nice backhanded flip there. He was under a lot of pressure, showed a lot of skill with his stick to get the ball out clean.
In a 7-7 game, McCoy with the ball. Now in the X is Schaffner. Schaffner going to reset. Back behind. Schaffner cuts towards the goal. Heads up to the middle to the point. Quick shot and a save by Mima. Pins it to the ground. Scoops, and Waterford will break out. Long pass ahead of the pack to Erickson. And Eriksson on the other side of the field for Waterford. He is looking for an offensive player. The long stick Erickson gives it up to Bowdish. Bowdish now is being checked by Belandis. So East Lyme rotating the people who are checking Bowdish.
Bowdish had the ball on his stick, and once he passed it, now he's back to being locked off.
Pezzolesi on the little rub. In front, Cardozo, shot, and a big save by Bentley in front. Cardozo had a great look, but there's Mac Bentley with the save.
Yeah, the bounce shot that time, Max Bentley went down and got it.
Turnover, though. Bentley loses it. Pezzolesi had it. Now Waterford has it back in Pezzolesi's stick, and into Bowdish now. Who is going to break the 7-7 tie? Under 5 minutes to go in the ECC Boys Championship Lacrosse game. 7-7 between Waterford and East Lyme.
Good ball game.
Bowdish looking for an opening. Bowdish spins, fires, score! Logan Bowdish puts the Lancers back on top. 8-7 beating Bentley High.
How did Baudish even get a shot off that time? He was harassed by 3 defenders, reversed his field, and boy, knocked in his 4th goal of the game. Scorers can score, can't they? And Logan Baudish is one of them, Coach.
But you know, he makes a nice dummy dodge with his right hand coming down the right pipe. 3 East line defenders hedge him. They overplay him to his right, and then he spins back, puts the stick back in his left, and he's basically shooting a blind shot. The goalie didn't even move.
Right. Great body movement and just tremendous. He's a scorer. There's no way to put it, Casey.
Bars had it, now gives it back to Lefort. Waterford with a 1-goal lead.
That goal broke a string of 4 straight goals by the Vikings for the Lancers.
Lefort makes a move. He's going to head back behind the net. Hounded by Catanzaro. Now he spins, looking for some room. And a nice job by Catanzaro sealing him off. And back on top it goes to Cardozo. Cardozo with the long stick, Norwegian. Makes him go left. And back to Lefort. Griffith Potter. Griffith Potter heads toward the goal, looking for a run. Shut off there. Griffith Potter spins, quick shot, bounces, and no good. But Lefort behind the goal picks it up and shoots it in front. Oh, had a cutter in Cardozo, but loose. A hustle for the ball. Norwegian wins the battle, but instead, out of the pack comes Huda.
Long stick lost out on that one, Coach.
Huda's a hockey guy.
Yeah.
There it is again.
The ground balls, the loose balls, the hustle plays.
And Huda,
he was pushed.
Nice job that time. He got knocked down by Peich, and it's going to be Viking ball.
Now, I don't understand, Coach. Why is that not a penalty and something else in the middle of the field is? Casey, that was a push.
I think
Huda, clear push.
Huda rolled back into that corner, and Peich just basically shoved them out pretty good. It was pretty physical.
Think it was a flop?
Well, he's a hockey guy.
All right. Yeah.
There's your Marcus Smart time.
There you go. That's right.
On a run now, Bogashevsky. Bogashevsky to Bauman. Vikings trying to get this thing tied again, trailing Waterford 8-7. 3 minutes remaining in the third. Casey O'Neill, along with the sports doctor Keith O'Brien, Ray Lefort, as we bring you ECC championship action.
The coach, Raymond Lefort.
So they're back. East Lyme's back into the little big matchup. They've dragged the short stick defender down a goal line extended to McCoy's right hand. He's going to counter back any second, and he's going to go ahead and hit that pipe. Here he comes.
Comes back around, gets the screen from Bauman, does McCoy. Instead, kicks it out to Williams. Williams reset, so dangerous, loves that spot. Spins off of Hoagland. Hoagland, like you said, the lefty. Gives Williams no room, creates some room, whips a shot wide of Mima.
Spencer Hoagland has the size and the athleticism to push Williams off his spot, too.
He's probably one of the best athletes on the Lancers team. The kid's a quarterback. He's a kicker.
Yeah.
He does it all. He's a track kid in the winter.
Yeah, he's a very talented athlete. We saw it on the football feature we did on him. Very, very, very skilled. Williams doesn't need much room. Hoagland's got to be careful. Williams spins, fires, and wide. Out of bounds, but the Vikings are there, so they will retain possession.
Real long possession here by East Lyme, showing a lot of poise.
McCoy taking his time, has Bauman to his right. McCoy makes a run. Hesitant, cross, trying to get Williams across, but shot goes up high, and Williams will be there to inbound for the Vikings.
Yeah, McCoy kind of threw his hands up in the air. It's like, what am I doing there? I thought I had one, and Casey, like you said, doesn't need a lot of room to let one rip, and that was a fastball, just a little bit high and outside.
I love Waterford. They have Hoagland and Bars, 2 football players, 2 tough kids, guarding Williams and McCoy, the 2 Viking scorers.
So Williams is forcing the hedge, and Waterford goes with a quick double team here, and they get called for a penalty.
And a rip score from Matt Bogashevsky, and another penalty.
23.
Bogashevsky that time finding the back of the net. Big time goal that time, tying the game up at 8 for the Vikings.
I think we're going to get a penalty on Waterford. Joe Lillis, nice job that time. They tried to double team, got the penalty. Bogashevsky found himself open, rips the shot for an 8-8 tie, and the penalty is going to be on Waterford. See what the call is. Coach will walk us through what the penalty is going to be and what that means for the
They had to call something to the point of unnecessary roughness. here to get this to a no face-off situation, even though Waterford's man down. So that's a big call right there. You know, this could be a big momentum swing here going back for East Lyme's favor.
8-8, 134 remaining in the period, and an unsportsmanlike against Waterford will give East Lyme the advantage.
Yeah, he was in the referee's ear after the goal was scored and got the unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah, that penalty is on Waterford. East Lyme will have the game tied at 8 and the ball.
They called an illegal check to the head.
And we saw that. The double team came over. I think that was a tough call, too, because the offensive player was going down. And the check, I don't think it was an intentional check high. It just happens when players are in motion.
And he rolled back into it.
That's right.
Joe Lillis, the penalty on number 23.
So here comes Boguszewski, 8-all. Got ourselves a new ball game again. Quickly it goes. Williams, Swenson, Boguszewski. East Lyme looking for a shot from Williams if they can get it. Now comes McCoy. Back to Williams. Doesn't need much in the way of room. Little head fake. McCoy tried to rip, but well played that time. Cross it goes, and a save by Mima. Ball loose. Schaffner had a shot that time, but a nice defensive play by Mima.
Schaffner was at the net, Casey, looking at pay dirt. Couldn't convert. Good move that time, diving in.
And what do we have? We have a whistle. The officials are coming out. What do we got here, Coach?
I'm not clear of what they're calling here.
1:04 remaining. Clock stopped. Whistles on the field by the official. Waterford seems to have the possession, but the officials are trying to sort some things out right now. 8-8.
Coach, a lot of action in front of the net now for the Vikings. You see in their last few possessions with different people, whether it's Schaffner making a move, obviously Williams and McCoy, but they seem to do a good job. Nolan getting in the mix. Some different people getting touches right now for the Vikings.
Well, and the Dodgers for East Lyme are dodging with their head up, so all these targets in front of the cage are becoming dangerous.
Under a minute, 8-8 game. Lefort for the Lancers has the ball. Waterford looking to set up an offensive play. Double team coming to Lefort. Double teamed and harassed. Spins. Gets a defender on his shoulder. Trying to look for a teammate. Can't find one. Forced out of bounds, and a great job defensively by the Vikings. They'll have the ball.
East Lyme very aggressive, going with a double and really executing all of their checks very well.
Here comes Boguszewski. Up ahead, East Lyme with the ball, crosses midfield. Now Bauman. 8-8, 20 seconds remaining in the half. Back behind the goal it goes.
McCoy lurking.
There's McCoy on the left edge. In front it goes. Rip shot and a score! Schaffner for the Vikings gives them a 9-8 lead.
Second goal of the ball game for Schaffner. And again, one of those extra divers, Coach, coming in for East Lyme, making big dividends right there.
Oh, nice left-handed rip off of a really nice feed from the back of the cage by Williams.
I think that might have been Boguszewski, not Schaffner. Hard to tell with all of the people in front of the goal. I don't know if that was Schaffner or Boguszewski. They were both in front of the goal. We'll get clarification. But either way, the Vikings have taken the 9-8 lead.
The second goal would be for Matt Boguszewski or for Connor Schaffner. Take your pick. I believe it was Boguszewski on the play.
9-8 with 11 seconds remaining in the third. Wade wins the faceoff, but East Lyme takes control. Abramoff over the midfield line, under 2 seconds remaining. He'll get off one final shot. And did it come in under the goal? The officials are going to consult. It came at the buzzer. Let's see what they say. No goal. It came after the buzzer.
No goal.
They're conferring right now. I think two guys said no, but now they're having a conversation.
This is a big call here.
A couple of years ago, the college game converted.
No goal.
Converted to the shot being out of the stick, off in the air. So it continues into that dead zone.
Right.
The high school game's not the same.
High school game.
Gotta be in the back of the net.
The ball's got to be in the back of the net
Yep.
before the clock hits zero.
Yep.
So there's no release.
No.
There's no on the release.
No 3 at the buzzer.
I got you.
Wow.
Oh boy.
That's a good one to know. Now the previous goal was in fact Schaffner's goal, so we did have it.
Yeah, he's
had
the
it right.
lefty. Schaffner's the lefty, and he's sitting on that right porch on that man up.
So here we go into the fourth quarter of the ECC Boys Championship lacrosse game. The East Lyme Vikings 9, the Waterford Lancers 8. The fourth quarter to come, and buckle up.
Yeah, I mean, this game was 7-3 Waterford at one point. East Lyme got a little bit hot. They've outscored them 6-1 since. You know, East Lyme showing you the medal a little bit here. And, you know, Waterford's going to, if they want this crown, they're going to have to come out and take it like they initially did in the first part of this ballgame, Coach.
They're going to have to figure out how to score with Bowdish being locked off. That's going to be their answer in the next 12 minutes.
Well, who's your guy? I mean, is it Griffith Potter that's going to have to step up? Or is it Lefort that's got to step up? Are they going to have to try and free up Bowdish a little bit?
I think Griffith Potter's got to be the guy. He's been the second scorer all year with Bowdish. You know, they've got to find a way. I like what they were doing, where they were using Alessi and they were using Bowdish to set the screen for Alessi. I thought Cardozo got some good looks off of that, but I think you got to find another way. You're right, Coach. You got to find who's the guy that's going to score. If it's not going to be Bowdish, and East Lyme has decided it's not going to be Bowdish.
Yeah, Coach had talked about switching different players off on him, so fresh bodies, Casey constantly on him. They know what kind of an offensive machine he is.
Yeah, East Lyme switched up the jerseys on him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
More fresh legs.
Yep.
We've seen as many as 4 different kids take a shot at face guarding Bowdish. So that's 4 different, sets of legs that you're out there. Bowdish, got to be wearing down at the end. Wade with a nice face-off win by Waterford. Straight ahead it goes. Quickly he got it ahead to Lefort, and Waterford will set up possession down a goal, 9-8. And you can see Wade hobbling significantly on that ankle. Has not been the same since being injured in the first half. Cardozo gets it to Bowdish. Bowdish has Abramoff on him. Bowdish taking his time on with the short stick, Abramoff. Lefort. Bowdish looking for the return pass from Lefort, but Abramoff hounding him.
A lot of patience here by the Lancers.
Lefort behind the goal, gets a screen from Griffith Potter. Catanzaro with a long stick, hounding Lefort. He'll go back toward the X and get another rub from Griffith Potter. Try to whip one, and on the floor on the deflection, Catanzaro had a chance at it. It's loose, it's in front. A nice opportunity by Huda, but he couldn't get a real good shot off. Out in front it goes to Lefort, and there comes the physicality again. We're going to get a whistle, and Lefort is down on the turf.
And Huda got cleaned out in the middle of the field by that shot case. He couldn't get a good look, and like you said, more rough, tough plays. Lefort was on the deck.
He pops up. It'll be Waterford ball. Bowdish with the ball for the Lancers, and they trail 9-8. Bowdish in the X. He's got Abramoff on him.
Coach, you like this long possession here by the Lancers?
Well, they needed to convert. There's a lot of momentum going right now for East Lyme. East Lyme's playing very well. And right now, a lot of the Waterford kids are in different spaces for themselves.
A quick shot by Bowdish, side of the net, and Bentley recovers.
And here come the Vikings. You see wholesale changes coming into the game now.
Long pass to Trevor Soames for the Vikings. He's looking to cross midfield. Nice check that time by Bowdish. Takes the ball away from Soames, and Waterford will have the ball.
So a rare failed clear by East Lyme. They've been clearing tonight at a very high efficiency. That's part of the first turnover in the clear game that I've seen.
Bowdish has Bogashevsky on him. Bowdish, quick rip, high shot, and a hustle after the ball. Let's see what the officials say. They say East Lyme ball. Credit Bauman for getting there first. Now Bauman will use Catanzaro to switch fields, and Catanzaro carries. The long stick, Catanzaro wants to get rid of the ball, gets it in the middle of the field to Bogashevsky. Now Bogashevsky's going to come down the right side for the Vikings. And he'll give it up to McCoy. And McCoy...
You're going to get a penalty here on Waterford. They've got too many on D. They blew a substitution here.
A little bit of a delayed penalty.
It's going to come right here.
Bauman with the ball for the Vikings. He'll take it down into the offensive zone on the left. Jacobson hounding him.
There it is. There's a flag. They just counted him up.
That's why he's here. Good call, Coach. Good eyes.
In front. And a goal! The Vikings capitalize and take a 2-goal lead, 10-8 with 9 minutes remaining in the ballgame.
Yeah, Matt Bauman on the goal right there, Casey. His first goal of the ballgame. Midfielder, got to look, all ECC performer, gives East Lyme a little bit of breathing room on a delayed penalty shot.
Yeah, well executed. They backed it up, took a nice run at the Waterford defender. Kid got top side. A lot of good right there for East Lyme. Really well executed.
Matt Bauman, Casey's been one of those kids that we see pushing tempo up the middle of the field. That time he just scored a nice goal.
Yeah, I want to give credit to East Lyme for turning up the intensity of their game, but this is also not the Waterford team we saw in the early going. They seem to be on their heels a little bit, and I think part of it is the Luther Wade injury. He's not the same right now in the faceoff box. East Lyme has actually started taking control of the faceoffs. Williams with the ball for the Vikings. He's looking to give it back to McCoy. Now he'll take it, and he's going to get Bogashevsky to set up top. Bauman, Bogashevsky, Williams, and McCoy. Bauman.
So East Lyme's clearing out below GLE and taking the Waterford short stick behind. This is something they're pretty good at right here.
Oh, and Bauman had a shot right in front, but he bounced it over the top of Mima. Schaffner got it back. Williams. Bogashevsky makes a run, fires a shot. High bounce, but Bauman will be there, and East Lyme will have the ball.
So still little matchup behind the cage. This is a great way to burn time if you're East Lyme too, because you really don't have to go fast.
Bauman with Mobley. Mobley checking Bauman. Bauman trying to get to the middle of the field. He spins in front, shoots. Ball deflected, and it's loose. And out of the pack. Nice job that time. Up ahead it goes. On a run, Jack Erickson. Eriksson finds Lefort. Quick shot, and a huge save by Bentley.
Quick one-timer there by Lefort. Turned away by Big Mac.
That transition was started by a really pinpoint pass by Bars. About a 40-yard pass. Pretty impressive play.
Yep, Bars absolutely hit Eriksson in stride. Eriksson carried and then found Lefort in really good position. A great shot, but Bentley with a big save that time. And that would have been a huge goal for Waterford, cutting it to 1. But instead, they trail 10-8. 7:22 remaining here in the ballgame.
And senior goalie stepping up, all ECC Casey, and making a play.
Loose ball picked up by the Vikings. They have a chance to switch fields. Up ahead it goes. Schaffner, and a nice check on the floor by Erickson. Check that by Close.
So Hoagland comes up with a big ground ball there in that little scrum, and the field settled back to a settled clear for the Lancers. We'll see if they can execute a clear here.
Bars, long pass to Bowdish. In space, Bowdish crosses. Midfield, Bowdish now on the right wing with an opportunity to reset an offense for Waterford. Under 7 minutes, 6:45 remaining, 10-8 East Lyme.
So Bowdish has a short stick on that right wing, and he's looking to get his stick topside. Here he goes.
Bowdish spins, fires, and wide. Just wide it goes. It'll stay. The officials wave and say Waterford ball. Had an opportunity, did Bowdish.
Yeah, a couple of real good looks here, Casey, in the last 2 minutes, Coach, by this Lancer team. Just come up a little bit short.
Lefort hounded on the play, and he loses the ball, but it goes into the hands, and now it's loose, and Bentley pins it down. The keeper heads-up play by the Vikings. Long outlet goes, and a great athletic play by Cardozo to keep it in the zone, and then a back check, and Cardozo's going to get called. And instead, a timeout by East Lyme.
Smart move by Coach Gary White.
A timely timeout.
Yes, timely timeout.
They were getting ready to lose the ball in their defensive half. It was going to be unsettled, and you don't want to give up the unsettled stuff now. You want to make Waterford earn it 6v6.
What an athletic play by Cardozo, getting up in the air to keep that in the offensive end for Waterford. And I like the intensity. Waterford's going to have to turn it up here, down 2 goals with 6:06 remaining in the ballgame.
East Lyme has certainly, been the more aggressive team, I would say, since probably about 2 minutes left to go in the first half. And they've kind of carried that through the second half. They built themselves a little bit of a lead. And now they're just, we're not going to try and let you back into this game. That two-goal cushion, I'm sorry, Coach, really big right now for this Viking team.
They don't have to do much right now.
Right.
They just have to stay poised. I mean, they could take the ball behind the cage and make Waterford come back there and come and get them. And they were doing that with the 2 short sticks behind the cage, and lacrosse coaches would call that's the double invert. And that's you got to have a plan to defend that.
Now, on the flip side, if you're Waterford and you're Coach Landry, are you taking more chances? Are you being more aggressive? Or are we still not at that point in the game yet?
I don't think you are yet. You still got a good face-off guy who can win and turn the tide for you. He could get hot again. I think at 6 minutes you got to play. This defensive stand probably sets the tempo, going in. Because if this thing comes out, a 2-goal lead, and Waterford gets the ball back, then I think you just run your offense so you can get back to 1. If you can't, then all of a sudden, if it's a 3-goal lead, well, then you got to press out, and that opens up a lot of space.
Yeah, I think the next goal of this game is, an immense difference maker. It's the difference between a 1-goal and a 3-goal game, obviously, is enormous. You're absolutely right, Coach. Right now, 2 goals, you can play your offense, you look for a good shot, and you hope you're the team. You don't want to overplay and get beat for a 3-goal lead. You want to be disciplined and get that goal to cut it to 1. Right now, Waterford just has to get good, a good defensive set right here, and if they can keep it in the zone, that would be even better. They give up the long pass to Catanzaro. Lefort hounds him, but Catanzaro, the long stick, gets it up ahead to Boguszewski, and Boguszewski's going to cross midfield. Good wheels by Boguszewski, and East Lyme does a nice job getting it into the offensive zone.
He just ran 40 yards.
A nice give and go on the clear. Clearly East Lyme had that repped up. That was very well played. The short stick dumped the ball over the top of the double team, got it to a single one-on-one matchup, and then the give and go happened. It was a really nice play.
McCoy will have it up top for East Lyme. He gives it over to Robbie Swenson. Swenson now, they're taking their time. Back behind the net to Schaffner. And then swinging it around to Williams. Bauman and Williams playing a little 2-man game behind the net. Taking some time off the clock. It goes up top to McCoy again. McCoy's going to have Bars, the long stick, poking him. McCoy gets some room. Fakes a shot, fakes a pass. Back behind the X to Bauman, and East Lyme makes a run. Bauman back up top. Williams fakes a rip. Again, rips and scores! The sniper, Sean Williams, extends the Viking lead to 3.
Yeah, the ball fake, I would say, Coach, really opened up a lot of room there, and he went bottom shelf that time. Sean Williams, his 5th goal of the ball game, making a big-time play. And, Casey, you mentioned it, down by a goal or up by 3, huge momentum killer that time for the East Lyme Vikings.
Williams put on a beautiful face dodge to a nice little toe drag, and that was a really, really beautiful play. That's high-end stuff. He's going to play lacrosse somewhere next year. He's a senior. I would imagine he's a NESCAC kind of kid. I wouldn't be shocked if the kid played at Con College.
There you go.
Yeah.
Face drag and toe dodge, and I'm calling ball fake, Casey.
I need a Johnson rod. That's what you need there. I'll tell you what, right, the coach, sometimes you can do everything right and players make plays. I don't think Waterford did anything wrong. Sean Williams he made a lacrosse play right there. That's, great players step up in big situations, and that's what Sean Williams did to give the Vikings a 3-goal lead.
He looked good in the orange and blue, Coach.
Man alive.
I don't know what his grades are like, but the Wesleyan Cardinals were a nationally ranked lacrosse team this year. The men's lacrosse team at Wesleyan was excellent.
On the Coast Guard schedule next year.
You know what? I'll be at that game.
We will get you a seat in the press box.
There you go.
It's cold that time of year. It's not like this.
I would love to watch that game. My alma mater, the Wesleyan Cardinals, I would love to watch them come on down and play the Coast Guard. And I got to be honest with you, I'd be hard. I can't root against my alma mater, but I'd have a secret rooting interest in the Coast Guard.
You got the coach right here. It's hard to go against the coach.
I know. It's very difficult. Very hard to do that.
What can you say about a team, too, in East Lyme who was down, back on their heels, 7-3, and then I guess I'm going to say with about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes left to go before the half, they kind of righted their ship a little bit. Is that coaching? Is it the players on the field? Is it a combination of both?
Well, you got 3 things going here. You got veteran leadership by the East Lyme players.
Right.
You got seniors playing fantastic in the 4th quarter. You're seeing it right before your eyes.
Right.
You got a coach with a lot of experience, takes a great time out on the Norwegian ground ball back, that's 15, 20 minutes ago. And that thing sort of solidified it, right? So he talks to his team. And then the last but not least, you just have a lot of kids believing. Like you just see it. They never lost faith. You never saw them sort of scuff their heels. Waterford got up. Waterford was amped up. East Lyme said, you know what, we've been here. We've played some good teams too.
8-1 since that time, since it was 7-3.
Yep.
And I think something you said, Coach, really resonated. We saw East Lyme sort of being, I don't want to say uncharacteristically, but maybe a little more aggressive than is typical as far as they got called for a bunch of penalties, being really physical. We saw obviously the scrum in the middle of the field with the hit on Wade and McCoy coming off the game and the hit on Bogashevsky. It feels like since that time, East Lyme kind of settled in to play more elegant lacrosse, less physical, more skill-based. I almost feel like to equate it to hockey. Instead of doing the bang and boards bully Bruins, they went and went, you know what, we're gonna be the skilled team that we are, and relied more on doing that. And since that time, it seems less physical, but much more elegant lacrosse rather.
One's the boxer and one's the fighter.
And they have a system, right? I mean, they're not doing things that they haven't practiced. They're executing things that they are good at.
Right.
11-8 East Lyme here in the ECC championship game. Bauman hounds Baudish. Say that 3 times fast, sports doctor. Bowden and Baudish.
And Bogashevsky.
Now Alessi with the ball for Waterford. Waterford desperately needs a goal. They get it in front. Quick shot, Jacobson wide, and Bentley hustles after it.
Big Mac is fired up down there, isn't he?
Big Mac's fired up because he hustled after the ball to get the East Lyme possession.
Well, Waterford had their shooters above goal line extended to try to get a little more, I guess, risky, and they couldn't back up the shot.
Catanzaro, the long stick, carrying now for East Lyme. Getting ready to cross midfield, and he does. He's going to look for an offensive player. He gets it into the hands of Schaffner. Schaffner's going to head to the X, and he's being hounded out there by Erickson. 3.5 minutes remaining, 11-8 East Lyme. Schaffner.
So Waterford now has the goalie out of the cage, and they are trying to double-team the ball to get it on the ground.
Bauman with the ball.
So here he comes again. He should be out of the cage any second.
Bauman spins, fires, and a high shot bounces over Mima. East Lyme hustling after it. What a great play out there by Kevin Close. The all-ECC defender of Waterford out-hustled 2 Vikings and got the possession to Waterford.
I think the East Lyme players thought one of the 2 of them was going to box him out, and Close just had a clean run at it. Boy, he puts the burners on there.
Hoagland now carries for Waterford. Long pass up ahead on the turf, picked up by Mobley. Mobley runs at the goal. Mobley in front. Little 2-on-1 opportunity now for Waterford, looking for a pass. There it is. Lefort rips and score. Oh, no. Yes, a goal. Late call by the official. Michael Lefort went low right and beat Bentley. Huge goal for Waterford. Cuts it to 2.
Yeah, Michael Lefort's second goal of the game that time, Casey. Got himself in good position, coach. They played the fast break. The ball went behind the net. They've got an open look with Lefort. He cashed in.
Yeah, nice distribution with the ball down the right wing, out the back side. And, East Lyme was in the rotation, 1/2 a player short.
Right, and you credit Close for that hustle play down in the corner, which made everything
happen.
He
showed a lot of grit. Man,
right.
I want that kind of guy on my team. Come on.
Well, I'll tell you, the one thing I'll give Lefort credit for is he had a wide open look, but he took his time and sized up the shot he wanted to take. He went low right, and he got the goal. I like the fact that he was poised under pressure and didn't just try to rip one, kind of willy-nilly. He took a legit shot. And now Waterford down 2 has a possession. They cut it to 1. We might be in for some fun here at the end. Baudish gets it in the middle. And now they're going to run up top. Cardozo. Oh, a big hit in front, and we're going to get a flag on a check on Alessi, who was cut into the middle. Big call here with just under 2 minutes, 1:59 remaining. A penalty on East Lyme.
Yeah, Alessi, Baudish, especially Baudish going to attract a lot of attention in front of the goal, Casey. And like you said, a big hit right there, and it'll be a penalty on the Vikings.
Yeah, Bogashevsky, he'll take a minute penalty. And that's another difference, Coach. When Waterford was up, they were capitalizing on the specials. They had a bunch of power plays that they capitalized on. East Lyme has not had a penalty in quite some time.
It's been a while. They settled in. So this is probably the first man up for Waterford probably in the second half.
Absolutely, and they're going to try to see if they can cut it to 1. There's Griffith Potter. Swings it back up top. Alessi rips, bounces, and a great save by Bentley. Takes it away from Lefort. Long outlet pass goes up ahead, and East Lyme can't clear. Ball loose. Who's going to come up with it? It's on the ground. They're fighting for it, and out of bounds it goes. East Lyme will lose over. Waterford has possession. 1:25 remaining, down 2.
Effort plays here, Casey. Championship plays right now. Waterford still up a man with another 23 seconds.
Bowdish up ahead, Lefort. Behind the goal it goes. Bowdish, Lefort in the middle. Griffith Potter shoots, and a huge save by Bentley. Big Mac is the man in the big moment.
Yeah, point blank look that time by Griffith Potter, stoned by Big Mac.
Up ahead, Catanzaro with the long stick. Catanzaro all the way to goal. Catanzaro shoots, and a save by Mima. Under a minute to go. Waterford's going to have to press.
What a ball game.
Ball's loose. Out of the pack, Jacobson has it for Waterford, and a whistle. We're going to get a timeout here. I think Waterford's going to call a timeout. They want to try to figure out how they're going to go through this last 42 seconds.
Wow, what a ball game, Coach, huh? Coming down to the stretch.
You know, you got to give credit, I guess, to the bigger body of ECC lacrosse. This is a great game. Both of these teams are doing a lot of great things. Both goalies are making saves at the doorstep time and time again. The kids are moving the ball quick. It's just good lacrosse right in front of you.
Well, that's a good segue to what I want to ask you, because you mentioned the NESCAC earlier. You know, I'm a NESCAC guy, and you know the Coast Guard Academy is a NESCAC style, Division III school. What, you as a NESCAC, aficionado, if you will, you watch this game. What's the level of play I'm seeing here? I mean, how many of these kids can you see going on and playing at that kind of a level of college lacrosse?
Oh, I think Logan Bowdish can shoot with the best of them. At the worst, he would be a great player on man up because he's a sniper. He hits corners, and he's a lefty, and you don't have many of those. I think the toe drag you just saw a little while ago by Williams, that's high-end stuff. I don't see that every game. That doesn't come from every team. I think the heat the kid McCoy has, I think the East Lyme goalie is outstanding. And I also think, by the way, Ortheus Mima, he might be the most improved player in the ECC for the season. So there's so much growth here.
Yeah, and I think that's a great testament. The lacrosse in the ECC is still a relatively new sport compared to some of the other conferences around the state. And certainly Waterford playing catch-up to some of the other schools in ECC who have got more tradition. But this is a really well-played championship game here in the ECC final.
My barometer is, the Daniel Hand score for East Lyme beating East Lyme beating them 9-8 in overtime. And then Daniel Hand losing the Fairfield Prep by a goal.
So you can see
so
where
there's
they
a lot of good going on.
Coming down the other end, 22 seconds remaining. East Lyme up 2. Bogashevsky with the ball, and the clock stops at 19.7 seconds. Waterford will have a crack at it here, but we're under 20 seconds. Not a lot left. Long pass from Erickson to Cardozo. We're down towards 10 seconds. Cardozo's going to have to fire a shot. Loose ball. Running after it is Waterford. East Lyme will control with Norwegian, and it's 4.4 seconds away from a Viking sweep of the ECC Lacrosse Championships. The girls beat Stonington. The boys have won the ECC Championship. The East Lyme Vikings with an 11-8 victory over the Waterford Lancers. And the irony of ironies, 11-9. The irony of ironies is that the last game, it was 10-7. I mean, it's almost the same result, but a much different game. This was a really well-contested game on both ends.
High tempo. In the last game, they felt each other out for like a half. It was like nothing was happening. The paint was drying. In this one, both teams came in with a lot of confidence. East Lyme's a very deep team. They have a lot of kids who can throw and catch. Very well coached, really poised team. I'm very impressed. It's a really great win, being down that many goals, to keep the kids involved and keep the kids' heads in it that long. It's a great job by East Lyme, and congratulations to them.